Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you are in the world today. Thank you very much for joining us at On the Grand Scale podcast. I'm excited to have you around. Today, I am talking about the scaling leader, continuing with the scaling leader. It's a series of talking about leaders who help organizations scale. And today we're talking about understanding your value as a leader. How do you get to understand your value? You will find that this topic actually goes deeper into just yourself, but also the same principles that we use for understanding your value will become important in understanding the value of your business. This comes from my book, How to Multiply Your Value and Create Extraordinary Impact. And so I'm taking one of the concepts there. It's the first concept, which speaks to understanding your value. And I just want to summarize that part and get you to understand ways in which you get to understand what value you have as an individual. Each and every one of us are born with something unique, something different that we've got to give. I just want to start with saying you've got within you, before we put anything else, before we talk about the rest of the world, if we just talk about you as an individual, in fact, all of us have individual value that we bring to the world. And the more we understand our individual value, the more we are able to know how to place ourselves in the world. Without knowing that, it's difficult for us to give as much value as we need to give. So I just want to go through some principles here. And the first one has to do with this concept called understanding your shape. I read this book a long time ago by Dr. Rick Warren called The Purpose-Driven Life. Within the Purpose-Driven Life is a topic that jumped out at me many years ago about understanding your shape. And so I've taken that shape concept and I want us to explore that a little bit. Of course, it's got my own addition added into that. And then from there, I want to go to the Ikigai concept. So these two, the shape concept and the Ikigai concept, will help us understand your shape. So let's get into the SHAPE concept. SHAPE is an acronym for understanding who you are. So the first, the S stands for spirit. You have a spirit, right? You would understand that as human beings, we are made of three components: spirit, soul, and body. And the spirit is the part of us that cannot be seen. The spirit is the part of us that we cannot touch. We cannot. It's apart from the mind, the soul, which we at least can have emotion out of, or the body, which we can touch. The spirit is the special part of us that we can't see, and every one of us has a spirit. Now, I want to take this concept a little bit and say, within each and every one of us is the invisible that is placed by the creator that makes us uniquely us. It cannot be copied. It is part of who we are. We need to understand that spirit. We need to understand at the very core who we are. Within that spirit comes purpose. The purpose is placed within the individual, within the invisible. And what is your purpose? You need to understand that spirit. In conversations, I usually say there's something about you and there's an assignment placed upon yourself that you need to understand. By looking just at your history and the things that you have overcome up to this day, it means you've got the spirit of a victor. Can you trace back and see the invisible hand that has been touching your life, that has been saving you, that has been making you conquer? If you are able to visualize and see that, you are beginning to understand the essence of who you are as a human being. It's the first part of understanding who you are. The accident that you got into, that you got out of, or the experiences that you've taken for granted, but still you are alive with us today, is evidence of something more than just what we see and what you feel, touch, or what you think that is out of the mind. You've got to understand that. The next part is your heart. Your heart is also uniquely yours because it is a place of passions and dreams. You've got unique passions. You've got unique things that you like. I mean, if we were to go on your Netflix profile, we'll probably find different movies from the next person. If you were to go onto TV and switch channels, there's certain subjects that, make you light up. Maybe you like sports more than other people, or maybe you like reading books that are biographies more than fiction. Every part of that is uniquely chosen. The Bible says that I am fearfully and wonderfully made. This was David saying that I am fearfully and wonderfully made. That assertion speaks to unique making. So there are unique passions that you have, and they were made for a purpose. What are those passions that you have? The next thing, the unique dreams that you have, the things that you want to do in the future are a gift for you that set you apart. Those are the things that make you come alive. What are those dreams? And do you know them? Do you document them? Because they're a part of what makes us understand who you are. The A stands for abilities. What are unique abilities that you have? What are some of the things that only you can do? And when you present yourself, you are able to show up in the best way possible. What are those? You need to be able to articulate them well. They are natural talents that you have that speak to this. Then the P speaks to your personality. We've got different personalities, and personality is defined by how we feel and think in response to situations, how we think and feel. There are some people who are naturally executors, right? When a task is given, they think in terms of doing and not in terms of thinking about it or which people are involved and things like that. They are naturally doers. There's some people given a task who start thinking about the purpose, the why. They have a strategic mindset that questions the why, the what, the who, the when before they can begin the doing, you know? And then there's some people who are people oriented, who, when a task is given, they think about who is in this task. Are they happy in those tasks? What is happening with them? They have a feeling of we must take care of the other people that are around us. And then there are some who are really good at when a task is given, they will go to town talking about that task. They will shout it out. They will shout about it. They are marketers or salespeople by personality. You see, if we get to know our personalities better, we get to know how to choose and where to choose where we belong and what we do. Just as we know, if we know our abilities, our hearts, and our spirit. Then the last bit is our experiences. We have had unique experiences as individuals. My experiences definitely would not be similar to yours. My upbringing would not be similar to yours. Even if we come up from the same family, the things that we have gone through can be uniquely different. How we were treated was different. Maybe the places that we went to were different. The friends that we had were different. And therefore, the experiences that we've gathered around are a part of who we have become, and they need to be taken note of. I usually, in coaching sessions, talk about good experiences and bad experiences that you've gone through. They are a part of what you've gone through, and they need to be valued. Good experiences make us better. Bad experiences, when taken right, also make us better. So that is the acronym of SHAPE, one of a leader trying to understand their value. If you take a few moments to just reflect on this, it will help you understand more of who you are. I just want to go through some quotes that speak to understanding your value. Albert Einstein said, everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid. If you place yourselves in places where you can't be your best self and where you can't show up in the best way possible, you are like a fish that's trying to learn how to climb a tree. But when you know you are meant for the water and you swim and you place yourself in it, it will feel like breathing because that's what you are meant to do. Here's the second one. What if we study what's right with people versus diagnosing their problems and trying to fix what's wrong with them? This is Donald O. Clifton, an American psychologist, where he argues that looking at what's right with people could be that one key that helps us perform at our best instead of looking at what's wrong with us. When we understand our strengths and we play by our strengths, we become better. And here's the third one. Each person's talents are enduring and unique. So this is what we're talking about. Your abilities are enduring and unique. Each person's greatest room for growth is in the areas of his or her greatest strength. And this is Buckingham and Clifton. Meng Tu says, those who follow the part of themselves that is great will become great. Those who follow the part of them that is small will become small. The more we understand our strengths and we play to those strengths, the better. Then this one is kind of like the concluding quote from Donald O. Clifton from Now Discover Your Strengths. He says, from this point of view, to avoid your strengths and to focus on your weaknesses is a sign, it isn't a sign of diligent humility. It is almost irresponsible. By contrast, the most responsible, the most challenging, and in the sense of being true to yourself, the most honorable thing to do is to face up to the strength, potential inherent in your talents, and then find ways to realize it. The most responsible thing you need to do as a scaling leader is to find your shape and to find your strengths and pursue the realization of those strengths to the best of your ability, because that is your right. Trying to play small isn't being humble. It is almost being irresponsible. I like that. So the next part I want us, the next frame I want us to look at is the Ikigai concept, which is a Japanese concept of identifying purpose. And literally, this has four major questions that help you understand where you are and where you've got to go. Number one question is, what do you love? then what does the world need? What can you get paid for, and what are you good at? So what do you love? We've already spoken about your passions. What are those passions? What makes you tick? The one thing that you could look at when you ask about what you love is to look at the things that turn you on and the things that really frustrate you. The things that turn you on are things when subjects are discussed or things talked about, you light up. Part of that is showing your passion. The things that frustrate you are things that when subjects are discussed, they really take you onto a different level. They are indicators of passion. What does the world need? It's one thing to love something and just do it, but if it is not in line with what the world needs, then it becomes a problem. It's a hobby. It's something that you do for your own personal gratification and not necessarily something that will meet the needs of the world. But usually, when you go for what you love and you continue to go for it, for some reason, there is always a need that you can actually be meeting. The third part is, what can you get paid for? Because a part of your purpose, or hidden within your purpose, hidden within the things that you love and the things that the world needs, are things that you can get paid for. So what are those things that you can get paid for? Maybe because of the school that you've gone to, or because of whatever. What are those things? And then the last one is, what are you good at? Your natural talents and your experiences and all the things that you've gone through. Those make up a sum of who you are as an individual. Now, as we conclude this part, I just want you to reflect. What is your shape? What thoughts come to mind when we talk about your spirit, your heart, your abilities, your personality, and your experiences? And what is your Ikigai? What are you good at? What are you passionate about? What do you love? What does the world need, and what can you get paid for? Think on these things because they help you understand your value. In the same way, if you are leading an organization, think about these things. Think about the Ikigai of your organization and speak to yourself around what you as a team are passionate about, what you as the owner are able to do, but also as a team, what you are able to do more than anyone else. Think about what you can get paid for, and think about your core competencies, and think about whether you are meeting a need that's within the world for sure. Those are the things that when you look at them, they help you understand your value. This will definitely lead into a place where you can get to understand the value that you can give as the scaling leader individually, but this is a framework that you can use also for your organization to understand the value that you can give to the world as an organization. Once again, if you are serious about taking your organization to the next level, you need to at least speak to yourself about understanding your value, as well as speak about, or at least consider, the value of your organization. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night.